the annual celebrations of Atal Incubation Center at the CCMB. Program we're a little behind schedule, so I'll just get started with it. So I'll start with asking all our the first dignitaries to come up here. So Dr. Shekhar Mande, Dr. Rakesh Mishra, Krishna Elaji, please. Ms. Ishita Agarwal, Satya Prakash ji.
CCMB at my personal behalf, I welcome you and coming to us on a not very friendly day today. Thank you very much for being with us. I'm personally very excited for talking in your presence because all of you have been extremely helpful in our activities. And what I would do is quickly I'll go through what we have been doing for past year for accepting our invitation and be part of today our excitement and share our excitement. And one of the very, very critical aspect of the whole thing to have taken off for last 1 year and been successful is the support of Director Rakesh Mishra. Dr. Rakesh Mishra has been extremely supportive for our activities, and I can tell you it could have been done so quickly and so probably effectively in his leadership. Thank you very much, Dr. Rakesh. And Mrs. Ishita Agarwal, she is the manager of Atal Incubation Center of Niti Aayog, and she was the first contact point for us, and she has been extremely supportive all through the last 1 year, 1.5 years. And then today she, thank you very much for coming here and talking to our founders. And then it's been a great journey. I hope we will be very successful with the rest of the period of this project. And Dr. Satya has been a well-wisher from various DPT forums, and I thank you very much for being here. Dr. Rama Rao has been our very strong and well-wisher of AIC-CCMB, and I thank you for being with us and share our pleasures. So, the vision of Atal Incubation Center is to nurture innovative startup businesses in their pursuit to become scalable and sustainable enterprises with the availability of sectorial experts of mentoring the startups. So I thought it has come at the right time in the early times of 2017, where we just started our activities in that direction. As you know, probably the host institute, CCMB, has been very active in basic sciences, but it's always looking for systems to set up in place to do the translational part of it. So when we started with the support of CRTDH, which is one of the support systems that CSIR provided, and then this opportunity with Atal Incubation Center came up, and that has, in fact, the next slide shows, in fact, mandate of AIC-CCMB is to establish a bioincubator facility in healthcare and biotechnology, create an entrepreneur-friendly environment for startups, and setting up an ecosystem of mentors. So this is something that Atal Incubation Center's mission also is. So it became a kind of nice situation for us to partner with them, and in fact we were one of the lucky 10 people to have been selected out of several hundred applications in the first round. So we thank AIC for the support on that. So as you know, CCMB's focus is on life sciences. So obviously we should be doing a better job if the incubator focuses on life sciences like biotechnology and healthcare. That's what our focus was in the incubator. So when we set it up, one of the things that we always notice for a startup, if you get into the psyche of a startup, one of the things that they face is the initial investments are pretty high, and even though people have very good ideas, but they kind of hold them up because lack of opportunities to validate their idea and things like that. I thought in that context, the Atal Incubation Center, we were able to establish an excellent infrastructure, and we are trying to do better. And then, so infrastructure is something that we are looking at. And the second thing is, if you look at, if there is a thing called postmortem of startup failures, you realize that the reasons for failure for startups is very much predictable in this sense, but somehow the points are missed for a startup in their excitement. One of the things that they lack is the major reasons that a startup fails is, do they need it? Do the world needs your idea? If you don't evaluate it very carefully, that's one failure. Probably by the time you make it, probably nobody needs it. The second thing is team. Teams are very important. So the purpose, besides creating the infrastructure, one of the major things that we wanted to do is create a mentorship, and that's what we are focusing on. Next slide. So I just want to, we have various mentors with us, like Dr. Bangera, Dr. Ranjit Sen, Jayaraman, and Shishir, Gohan Jayaraman, Mukherjee, and Satyanarayana, all these people, next, Amban Chaturvedi, these are all, we are very grateful for them because they really help us in a big way in setting up our screening system of the applicants from the various people, various applicants, and then how do we select them. You know, in fact, that is, whom we take in our incubation is very critical for the success of the incubator also. So we have been very lucky to have their help. So, and in addition to this so-called screening committee, we also have at least 4 CCMB faculty who participate in a technology advisory group. Dr. Josna Dhawan, Dr. Krishnan, and Tushar Vaidya, and Dr. Sridhar. All these people come, and there is a complete technology advisory group that screens the applications. We think that that's very important for evaluating the projects. The next thing is, as we talked about mentorships, 2 events called Cafe Mandala and Dagar. These 2 events, what we try to do is bring in outside experts, domain-specific experts, and make them talk to our founders, and then help them in almost foreseeing their future in a way so that they don't know their problems only when they reach them. So it's kind of cautioning them, scaring them, whichever way you say it. So basically telling them what to expect after, once they reach a milestone in their development. So the next is the kind of various partnerships we formalize with the local ecosystem partners, like what you see on the screen. So we are very happy, and all these people come forward and tell us what to do and what not to do. We are very thankful for all of them. So what you see now is the startups that we have today, and actually Lifesciences, we have something like 13 partners with us, and we are going to sign something like 5 to 6 new incubators today. And in our journey of nearly 1.5 years, we had 2 exits. One exit more because the person, they have started another shop in Ireland, so they moved out of this place and they wanted to concentrate into one location. The other company is called Maiden Lifesciences, which actually works on a sugar substitute, a protein, and so they saw bigger opportunities in the West, and so they left us in November. They were with us for a year or so, and then they are working in UK with the state support at UK. Next slide. I have been standing here and show you whatever we have done without the help of these people. I am very, very grateful to all of them. And the next slide, please. So one of the themes of today's panel discussion is what we named it as, I'm sure to some it may be provocative, but we call it pride and prejudice. So the purpose of this is to, make some conversation on how to look at the gaps why are we not attractive in industry? When we say we, it is all institutions and their innovations. I can tell you, I look across all the latest startup technologies across the world, but I don't see why ours are anyway different. The ideas are damn good. But at the same time, somehow, the way we package them and put them across to other stakeholders, I think there is a big gap. And also, we urged and wanted the industry to look at us much more in a co-development fashion, whichever way. In fact, they are much smarter than us in terms of doing business. And this particular panel discussion is more to just talk about what are the apprehensions on both sides, and then see what kind of methods that we can go for. And I thank you again, each of you, for being with us. And it's been 1.5 years, is a great journey. I'm indebted to many people, and I thank you again from my heart. Thank you very much.
So, first of all, I'd like to extend my personal welcome and regards to all of you who accepted our invitation and came here to encourage us, especially all the dignitaries, dais, people from industry, and Shekhar, who has been extremely supporting and encouraging all the time. This activity of incubating entrepreneurs, startups, has really been very exciting thing for all of us. In CCMB, we are more comfortable with doing our research, publishing our paper, and once in a while, when something applicable comes, taking it further. CCMB has good record in that. We have given technology products which are of major impact to the country. But incubating in an organized way, we started with CRTDH grant, which had come when Dr. Mohan Rao was director, and we took it further, and we learned many things, that how to interact, how to promote entrepreneurs. And then this opportunity came from the Niti Aayog, and all credit goes to Madhu for writing the grant, taking help from people around, and succeeding in getting the grant, which was a big moral booster for us. And working with Niti Aayog, I like to mention, gave us some sense of professionalism at how to deal with such things. We were very impressed the way applications were evaluated, and then later how they helped us in setting these things up. So, in the one more thing which I was personally happy and excited was the support that we get from environment in Hyderabad, particularly the state government. In any aspect we needed any help, encouragement, they have provided. And when we initiated the program, Principal Secretary came, and he was supposed to come today also, but he couldn't manage. So we have been really encouraged by all stakeholder industry. You can see even with short notice, so many people who are the leaders in industry have come. So that really encourages us to put more effort. And I think institutions like CCMB, who have established themselves, they have certain credentials with them. If they come forward and participate in interacting with entrepreneurs, this will set up examples for others and also for our own benefit. When we are having something which can be translated, we are learning from these entrepreneurs. Maybe we are learning more than what they are learning from here, that how to handle this exercise. And what encourages me more is that the staff of CCMB, scientists, and particularly students who are actually the gem of the society. We take so much care to select them. They are getting interested in entrepreneurship, incubating. They come and ask questions, and we are in discussion with them. And I hope that people like them, who are the best in society, they will take up this kind of activity. India is a country with a large number of young people. But this is a big wealth, but it can be it can backfire if they are not provided proper opportunities. And entrepreneurship, opening industrial activity, and instead of searching for a job, they can become job provider. And that's how we put our case to our student community, that they can come forward. We are ready to help them. Government is ready to help. Industry around ready to help. Whoever we have asked to become a mentor or come and interact with incubators, everybody has volunteered and selflessly came and helped us in many, many different ways. So I'm really very happy, and I must thank the AIC-CCMB team who has been with all the credits of what you see today. I just facilitate once in a while, sign somewhere, but and nothing else. So I'm really thankful to the AIC team who has done all these things. So once again, thank you all very much, and I hope we will have interaction and discussion today during this session. After this, we have panel discussion and followed by networking dinner, and then we learn from each other. Thank you very much.
Request Dr. India Haram to please say a few words.
The Director General of CSIR, I think he has taken over only 3 to 4 months back. I'm glad to see him first time, a little more personally. And no doubt I don't want everybody, all are here. The Director CCMB, Dr. Madhusudan Rao, and some of the dignitaries. The friend Balu, very much here. Ladies and gentlemen, let me first say I am the product of CSIR. I am very proud of it. I joined as a research fellow in 1960 in NCR and retired as a director of IICT in 1995. Now, normally, we take up either distinguished scientists or remain as some sort of an emeritus. But it took me one day, last day, the decision to become an entrepreneur. All the earnings, which I used to, quite a bit of earning by giving lectures, mostly US pharma companies. They used to pay $1,000, while the university gives $100. So I used to go most of the industries, and whatever the money I made, I built my house. Because one of the bad things I'll say, if you are in the government, they provide a housing. Till the last day, you don't realize you need a proper house. Now, having built that house with all my savings, and decided to become an entrepreneur, and I went and told my wife, tomorrow onwards, I'm leaving IICT and want to go on my own. She said, what do you want to do? I just want to start some business. What business, she says? Because she never heard also I'll become some sort of a business. I said, I myself don't know, I don't have money. But I had to borrow something, I said. She made one thing, you do anything, it's fine. But the only thing is, don't make collateral the only house we have. I used to know the chairman of the ICICI and also the executive director of IDBI. When I casually mentioned, come, we will give you, no problem, we'll have. When I went first to ICICI, they mentioned to me that they will not think of less than 10 crores. I wanted 1 crore. Because I don't want to burn somebody's money. I want to pay safe. Then I went to IDBI. He was so enthusiastic. He brought a file, which is nothing but Anju Reddy's Uniloids, which became sick. He said they paid 3 crores. And with interest, it became almost 13.5. He will write off all the interest and give me 2 crores as a loan. Get 1 crore. I said, Baba, I came for 1 crore. Where can I get? Immediately he said, you have done so much for Cipla. Go and ask Dr. Hamid. I said, one thing, a friend or a relative, if you take money, that is end of your relationship. So I said, I will never do that. Then he said, Dr. Ramarao, nobody can help if this is the way you talk about. But anyway, luckily I went to UES. When I gave a lecture, TD Soul wanted to sponsor me. And I said, I retired. Then they said, if the person is important and not the institution. I said, what are you going to do? I wanted to start my own. The vice president so much excited when I spoke on the vancomycin, which has competed with our son of the famous Harvard professor. He said you could do that type of complex molecule with simple chemicals, because we don't get in India all types of fancy chemicals. Then he said, when I said I want to go on my own, why not I give you the product? He said he has drug molecule, entered into phase 2, but they're not happy with the process. He said, independently look at it. I said, yes. He asked me how much you will charge. 1 crore I thought I was looking for. It's too big an amount. $200,000. According to them, it was less than half what they anticipated. They thought they can take a chance with me. He agreed. As a beggar, I said, I need half the amount as an advance. He looked at me, laughed at it. I said, yes, I started, I don't have money. He said, okay, wait for a day, I'll give $100,000. I have the $100,000. And to make the story short, I got another biotech company, $50,000 for 100,000 projects. The 150,000 became my seed money. I have not invested even today my personal amount anything so far. I came back with the 150,000, which luckily I registered before I went. Avra Laboratories. Many people ask, how do you arrive Avra? It is nothing but AV Ramarama. That's it, first 4 letters. Now, let me tell you. CSIR, I'm very proud of it. What is CSIR? We expand it. Council of Scientific and Industrial Research. The first thing we do, the second thing we totally do. This is the unfortunate part of it. And now the previous DD asked to add tag to all the labs. I don't know what was the intention. To remind them whether you have to do the scientific as well as industrial research, or purely to get credit for the CSIR headquarters. I didn't know that. Anyway, maybe here also, the message what I want to give is, as a scientist, one thing, you will not be recognized by the academy unless you do fundamental research. So I'm a fellow of all the academies because I published some of the best papers and also mentored 109 students. What are they? Today they are the best ones in the US, most of them. Some became entrepreneurs, more than 10 of them are doing extremely well. I keep telling them, every boy who joined me has to start a project first, an industrial project, as a job. And for 1 year, I will give the project mostly coming from the industry, which is sponsored, they pay for it. I used to tell all the boys, they have to earn average 5 lakhs per person. We never had the problem in money. Those who didn't get the fellowship, I used to give liberally equal fellowship to all the students. So that is the way, when I was there both at NCL as well as AIC-CCMB, we initiated not only the fundamental research and also industrial research. Incidentally, I myself, my personal group carried more than process technologies for more than 30 essential drugs, and all of them have passed on to the industry. They were commercialized and marketed at a price less than 1/5 to 1/10 the price of what is prevailing in the traditional market. That is the way I expect the CSIR to do some, to a certain extent, while doing science, we should also do industrial research. But now, let me go a little further, having retired. I told you I established AVRA within 2 months, and then today we have 3 facilities, 2 in Hyderabad, 1 major in Vizag. We do custom synthesis still, and also the contract manufacturing. Besides, we developed our own technologies, and especially one of the products, which is an erythritecon. It comes from a natural product. most of the compounds in antibiotics, if you look at it, they are semi-synthetic. Nobody will synthesize the entire things. And same is true whether Taxol or Erythicon, both are derived from plant products, anti-cancer. Now I thought when I did myself so much on synthesis, can't I do this one by total synthesis, beating the Pfizer suit? And we were successful. It took me more than 5 years of effort. And then we got the first chemical industry to get the CSIR award. No pharma chemical, we are a small company, we got that award. Now what I mean is, you need some qualities. What is the first one is, you have to take a decision maker. In which case, I did right from NCL days. I never used to bother for the directors, because whatever they say, if it is right, I listen. Otherwise, I go on my own. I have problems with the first DG, Dr. Mitra. I used to do what I want. He says I was not following CSIR rules. I said I do common sense, use common sense. Hell we had. But anyway, Dr. S.K. Joshi, given me liberty, he used to tell on scale of only 1 to 2. And that man doesn't listen anyway. So I got a lot of freedom. But let me tell you, everything we did in the interest of the organization, in the interest of the society, nothing for any other reason. Now, small thing I want to advise, when it comes to chemicals, especially we know, we contributed a great deal to generics, and the industry took over from 95. We became the masters in the world when it comes to generic drugs. In fact, India exports 60% of our generics, whether it is the bulk or the formulation, to the world of 140 countries. And in the United States alone, 40% of the generics, what they consume, are going from the Indian companies. We have established so much. If that is the case, what is the problem? The main problem is most of the antibiotics we are importing from China. And also all the hormones. Intermediates going for all the major drugs, they're all coming from China. If for any reason, for any war or any problem, China, if she stops, our entire chemical pharma industry collapses. Let me make it very clear. And this is what we should look at it. Now, why is that we are not making? The penicillin was started way back in 1961, 54. I'm sorry, 54. And HAL antibiotics, and then subsequently IDPL, atrocities. Both have been shut down more than 20 years back. Nobody is making even the essential drug like penicillin. The entire thing we are importing from China. It is so many intermediates, I can tell you. So that is not that, then why, where is the lacuna? We have got the expertise in chemical synthesis. When it comes to biology, we are zero. We have the Department of Biotechnology. They are given very liberally. I deferred with even Professor Dr. Ramachandran, who is no more. That is giving liberally to all the universities to do academic research. But nothing has gone so far. But only in one area, vaccines, when it comes to sitting here, as well as Santa Barbara. They made on their own efforts. It is not that CSIR helped or anything. No doubt, Santa Barbara had taken the help of CCMB when Bolu was there. But it is high time now, because we are talking about the biology and the incubators in these CCMB centers. We should actually look at it, and that is one thing. I was actually wondering, while doing the chemical, why we are not entered into fermentation. That is one thing I wanted to start. I will not go too much, you have given me 10 minutes. And that is where I have taken an incubator, and then went to Dr. Rakesh and told him, I don't know anything about biology. I will do, if you do small things in the laboratory, I'll do the rest of it. And he was very enthusiastic and he's very supportive. I think the trend is changed. Many of them, even the publication recent from Manjula Reddy on the antibiotic resistance, is a fantastic paper. Very good. Actually, CCMB, I always tell, among the CSIR labs, the best organization. But part of our time, if we can spend, while, one more thing, let me make it very clear. Without good science, you can't get good technology. Otherwise, you only copy it. To do good technology, you need good scientists. So here is something in CCMB. Plenty is available. All that, our senior colleagues and the director, who is very, very enthusiastic, should look at it. This incubator center was started with Athal's name, and he's the one who wanted actually India to become the world center for economic growth. And all that I will say at this stage, I would like to, a little bit of excitement I want to get by diversifying myself. And I can do nothing without the help of the CCM. With these things, I'd like to thank Rakesh as well as others who have given me this opportunity. Thank you very much.
So good evening. Shekhar, Mande, Director General, Rakesh, our friend Das and Nishita, and Bal, Monra, Suresh, everybody is here, everybody is here. So I think, the good example of startup, Dr. Ramarao, after retirement is a startup. That's an amazing story. I mean, to be looked at it. We are young people. In retirement takes a risk. Young people cannot take a risk. I always explain a simple way of risk taking is nothing but what is our chance of reaching home every day? Is it 50%? We may die in an accident. 50%. I think that 50% risk, let's contribute for the society. Let's contribute for the welfare of this country. Scientists have got a simple perception. Businessman, they're going to make money, they're going to kill the society, they're going to do all sort of things. I'm a scientist, I'm an entrepreneur. I look at it very simple. Money doesn't have any value. My mom told me only one thing. Son, you have 9 inches stomach. How much ever money you make in US, you can't eat more than 9 inches stomach. Come back, I'll feed you until you're alive. I'm alive. You do whatever you want to do. Okay, never. So life, with the age, that 9 inches becomes 3 inches. You can't even eat diabetic, blood pressure, and all sort of things. Starts. So you can't even eat that also. The life becomes very small in the end. Okay? But what is important is what we can create an impact to the society. I always tell businessman and entrepreneurship is simple. Businessman, he wants to make a money by exploiting even a government system. An entrepreneur, he's not interested to exploit the government system. He's interested to solve society. One problem he takes up and solve that problem of the society. Money is a secondary, but looks at passionately to solve the society problem. That's what matters a lot. And I think, I'm glad, Madhu has took a lot of interest, and we want to thank Niti Aayog, supporting the CCMB on this program. And I think, I'm pretty sure CCMB will be the successful incubator in the entire country. I'll tell a few examples for startups. I was a startup in '97 in Hyderabad. I don't even belong to Hyderabad. I'm from Chennai. I landed in Hyderabad. If anybody want to start, don't start in a native place. The native place, you'll be attending marriages and death ceremonies and other things. And your wife will be pulling you in all directions. The husband also pulls you another direction, and you have to recruit all the relatives also into the company. So don't start anything in a native place. That's rule number 1. Rule number 2, never look for money. Look at it passionately. I've got my degree. Can I do one solution for this country? Or solve some society problem? Money will come as a package. It comes automatically. I was a startup in '97. I don't know anything on vaccine. I'm basically an agriculture graduate. I don't even know what is vaccine spelling. What I know was yeast molecule biology. That's how I got into hepatitis B vaccine. And then led to, I said India has to innovate. India cannot be generic country. We have done a great as a generic country, but in the trade-off, we destroyed the innovation. And we are now talking biogeneric. Again, you want to be generic country, as a generic country itself, as a country, is not right for us. I think we need to be innovative. We need to be recognized as an innovative country. We are not a copycat country. That's the spirit that the young generation has to take forward. And we have done as a small thing contribution to the society. Rotavirus vaccine is a good example of public-private partnership. And I'm telling honestly, I could do that only because of CSIR, DBT, TDB, DST, or DSIR, all the other agencies. It's a but for the government help. People may talk negatively about government, and I'm telling you, government can help you behind. So many things can happen. And I'm telling you, it is a lot of regulatory process for us. A lot of regulatory, new vaccine development. The regulator will say, how can I approve you this vaccine? How can I do the efficacy trial? No, we don't allow this. So when you have this sort of government backup, it really helps you to move forward. And rotavirus vaccine, one phase 3 trial, the 10,000 babies, it took 550 crores. So now you have to start up. The science all matters in the science. And I looked at it, the business, science and technology is only 10% of the business. Many scientists becomes very possessive about technology. And please get out of that possessiveness. And that possessiveness will kill you, by secretive of that. It doesn't move you next level. You need to be open-minded. That 10% is what the science and technology contributes in a business model. The good example of regulating. One of my success, nobody knows actually. Because I was standing in the drug controller office, standing morning to evening in all 5 days. Monday to Friday, Delhi. And I know exactly, even drug controller doesn't know how the file moves. I know 8 times it comes down, 8 times goes up, 8 times comes down, and it goes up 8 times. Totally 32 times the table moves. Drug controller people. I think none of you people knows this. I've gone through this because I personally watched the file moving one place to another place. That's one thing I understood, how the regulatory system is very complex, but at the same time you need to understand the regulatory system. If you don't understand, you cannot be successful. Your technology will be phenomenal, but how the regulatory process controls this technology is important. A good example, we have done typhoid conjugate vaccine first time in the world. And now, we have done all the immunogenicity data in India. Then I go to Gates Foundation. I said, I want to launch this product in Africa and other places. He said, we can't believe your clinical data. Because you have done a typhoid vaccine in India, 1,500 babies, fine, no problem. Your license, great, no problem. But your antibiotic abuse is so much in this country, you can't make out whether the vaccine is affected or the antibiotic usage is affected. So we can't really respect your vaccine clinical trial in India. You see how hurdle comes in once you go to even approved in India, you get a next obstacle to when you want to go to other part of the world, it stops. Then we said Gates Foundation, help us something. Then they helped us, they gave about $10 million to Oxford University to do human challenge studies. But they told me one thing, if the efficacy is proved wrong, what will it do? You have to shut down the product. Yes, my colleague said, you'll be shut down the product, but if you shut down the product, they're going to suspect all the vaccines of yours also is useless. You see the risk that you can trade off in that game. He said, let's take a risk, doesn't matter. And coming from India itself is a taking risk. Going to US also taking risk. So everything is a risk in life. So we are taking a risk, okay, let's take one more gamble, not a problem. And human challenge study in Oxford gave 89% efficacy data. Big success. And then they said again, you are done only in adults in efficacy data in the adults in the Oxford, but you are not done in infant babies. So you get another barrier. So you are not done in infant babies, but your vaccine is admitted for infant babies. How do you expect? Then again they gave $40 million to University of Maryland and Oxford University to do the clinical trial in Bangladesh, Nepal, Burkina Faso, and Malawi, Kenya. And we again do 1 million children. That means 10 lakh children, babies of effectiveness studies. It's called not efficacy, effectiveness studies. And it came out 92% effectiveness. So what I'm trying to say is, you see every hurdle, you are telling process development. That's just one part, small part of it in the story. But the rest part is regulatory, clinical trial, other games, how to reach other part of the world is going to be a big game. And I think everybody can face the problem. But DJ was telling, we should do something. And I'm telling, I'm willing to put money, any startup. The problem with the scientists is, scientists' enemies are scientists only, not the business people. Scientists cannot trust another scientist. That's a big problem we have. We have egoistic people. We are highly egoistic people. I see the worst people in the world is PhDs and MDs, medical degrees. These two are the egoistic people. My massage fellow says, PhD means permanently head damaged people. Okay. So I think we need to get out of that syndrome, and you need to work with a partnership. I think the partnership is a very critical, whether it's a government partnership, private partnership, doesn't matter. I am not, you're going to be competitor for you. I have 9 companies to do my business. Actually, vaccine has become less important for me, not for company, personally. Dr. Bala knows. So I'm not very keen about vaccine now. I want to help the farmers of this country. How do I make farmers to sustain? Because farmers, we are talking about it, produce more, produce more, produce more. That's what the government says, produce more. You produce more and the glut in the market and they don't get price, they commit suicide. And our big pioneers like, big people like V.M.S. Swaminathan and all talks, oh, we need to start sustainable agriculture. When stomach is not full, what you can sustain? A farmer? That's ridiculous. What we need is, how do you support the farmer's intervention in marketing? Very good example, I'm telling you, we drink orange juice in this country, that none of these orange juice is produced in India. And orange juice, entire orange juice comes from Brazil and China, concentrate. Nothing is produced. You look in quinoa fruit in Punjab, have you seen a Tetra Pak? Because Americans are not growing quinoa fruit in America. Otherwise they would have made a Tetra Pak. So we are right there in front of us innovation, but we don't recognize that, unfortunately. But I think my suggestion to you, all of you, funding is plenty available in the country, whether government or private. You need to be open-minded and you talk to more people. What can happen in a business plan which your chartered accountant cannot tell, your MBA fellow cannot tell, is the business strategies depends on the regulatory. Your regulatory backward. If you are doing one technology, it can create a barrier for the regulatory angle. You change the technology right there, according to the regulatory angle. You change the technology before even get into the clinical trial. Once you get into clinical trial, you cannot change the regulator. You cannot change the technology at all. For example, live vaccine, you make it. If live vaccine is produced, what is the environmental impact? What is the reassortment? And is it going to recombine with other viruses? If you release it into the environment, what will happen? There are a lot of issues. Can you make inactivated vaccine instead of live vaccine? The simple strategic thinking. And that will help you ease the regulatory process much faster to go into the marketplace. And I want to tell you honestly, DG was asking to you help some funding under CSR or under whatever the banner it is. CSR is also a controversial topic. CSR means shareholders are asking question, why should I put money on CSR? So it's a law, but not being implemented as a law. Okay? But I think, we have plenty of money. You be open-minded. Come out critically, ask your project to be looked at it. You ask for non-disclosure agreement, sign the agreement, and any private equity investing in you, they will ask you one thing, change your memorandum of article. I am going through the problem. Don't change the memorandum of article. If you change the memorandum of article, you are surrendered. You are in trouble after 5 years, not now. So anything you want, all those information, please come and meet me anytime and bring 6 bottles of beer. We'll sit and talk and I'll give you advices to you, all of you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much for your kind words. Next, I would like Ms. Ishita Agarwal to please say a few words for us. Ms. Ishita is the manager of AIM from Niti Aayog. Ma'am, please.
Dr. Shekhar Mande, Dr. Rama Rao, Dr. Rakesh Mishra, Dr. Madhusudan Rao, Satya, and of course Ramji, and all the other dignitaries and guests here. Very good afternoon to all of you, and thank you for having me here. I'm delighted to be here on the first anniversary of the AIC-CCMBs, a project that we have funded at Atal Innovation Mission Niti Aayog, and it's great to see that there's progress happening and there is a number of startups, 13 so far, that the AIC has already supported. A couple of them already successful and have taken flight. Niti Aayog had recently launched the India at 75, a strategy document for India at 75. And in that document, Niti has taken cognizance of the fact that if we have to achieve the concept or the vision of New India, then all the Indians will have to be highly skillful and they will have to be innovative. And the document also envisages that by 2022-23, we will also be in the top 50 of the Global Innovation Index in the world. There's a ranking of innovation for all the countries in the world. We are right now fairly below in the ranking, but we hope to take it up and be in the first 50 at least. And it also envisages that the document also envisages that there will be at least 5 of our research labs which will be in the top 100 in the country. And Atal Innovation Mission has been established at Niti Aayog by Niti Aayog just for the same purpose of very systematically encouraging innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. And in the last 2 years or so, Atal Innovation Mission has established and funded more than 40 incubators, and overall these 40 incubators have supported about 500 startups and created 6,500 jobs as reported to us by these incubators. I'm proud to say that AIC-CCMB was one of the organizations that we had supported in our first batch of startups. And why not? CCMB is a very reputed CSIR lab. It has the best of, the best combination of state-of-art equipment, eminent scholars and researchers, as well as, the right industry connects. And it makes the perfect sense that AIC-CCMB is therefore housed here in CCMB and is able to complete the triple helix, the government, the academia and the industry working together to achieve and solve some of the problems of India, the socio-economic problems of India. Dr. Krishna Elliott talked about it, Dr. Ramarao talked about it. We have so many issues to solve. We have lots of problems and no one from outside is going to come and solve it for us. China is not going to do it for us. US is not going to do it for us. We have to build that capability to do it ourselves at home. And the government is also, on the other hand, encouraging a lot of R&D. They are encouraging other companies to come and have their R&D hubs in India. They are giving a lot of initiatives, a lot of incentives to encourage R&D in India. Simultaneously with programs like Atal Innovation Mission and Startup India, Stand Up India, they're trying to encourage innovation and entrepreneurship in the country. Again, trying to achieve the triple helix of government, industry and research working together. We are one of the fastest growing economies of the world. We are also the second largest startup nation now. And this is the perfect opportunity for us to try and imbibe all the latest technologies and try and solve our own problems ourselves. And I'm very hopeful that AIC-CCMB will be one of those leading incubators. By the way, I've met most of the startup founders which are supported by AIC-CCMB, and they've all given a thumbs up to AIC-CCMB. So my congratulations to Dr. Madhusudan Rao and Ramji and the AIC-CCMB team. So I'm very hopeful that AIC-CCMB will become a world-class incubator in the coming years, and it will play the role of a catalyst in achieving the vision of New India, which will create those sustainable technologies that my co-panelists have been talking about. And I wish AIC-CCMB all the very best for its success in all its endeavors. Congratulations once again, and best of luck to all the startup founders whom I met today, and wish many more success cases to AIC-CCMB. Thank you.